The ownership of the Kohinoor diamond does not belong unequivocally to Indians or India. This historic gem has a complex journey through time, defying any straightforward claims to its origin or rightful ownership. It remains a subject of passionate dispute among various parties, including Afghans, Iranians, Pakistanis, Indians, and the British. Each group presents historical and cultural arguments to support their claims to this illustrious gem, challenging any notion that it unequivocally belongs to India or Indians. In this discussion, we will delve into the intricate narrative of the Kohinoor, shedding light on the multiple dynasties and rulers who have laid claim to this coveted gem. Ownership dispute. Afghans lay claim to the Kohinoor due to its presence in Afghanistan during the rule of various Afghan dynasties, including Ahmad Shah Durrani. The diamond passed through Afghan rulers after Nader Shah's conquest of India. Iranians have historical claims to the Kohinoor because Nader Shah, an Iranian ruler, seized the diamond during his invasion of Delhi in 1739. It was in Persian possession for a significant period, and some argue that it should be returned to Iran based on this historical connection. Pakistanis lay claim to the Kohinoor because the diamond was part of the Sikh Empire's treasury, which included the region that is now Pakistan. When the British annexed the Punjab region, they also took possession of the Kohinoor. Indians assert their claim to the Kohinoor because of its historical connection to India, where it was mined and passed through the hands of several Indian rulers, including the Kakatiya dynasty and the Mughals. It represents a significant part of India's cultural and historical heritage. British claim ownership of the Kohinoor based on their acquisition of the diamond as part of the Treaty of Lahore in 1849 after the Second Anglo-Sikh War. They argue that it was ceded to them by the Sikh Empire, and it has been part of the British crown jewels since then. Historical timeline. Kohinoor likely mined anciently in Golconda region of India. Many famous diamonds like Kohinoor originated from prolific Golconda mines. Mir Jumla oversaw Golconda diamond trade as Mughal minister in the 17th century. He established a vast network exporting Golconda diamonds to Europe and Asia. Shantidas Jhaveri was another famous Golconda diamond trader under Mughals. In the 17th century, Mughal Shah Jahan cut Kohinoor from 793 to 186 carats. Earliest mention from the 14th century with Bahmani Sultanate in South India. Unclear how Kohinoor went from early Indian dynasties into Mughal possession in the 16th-17th century. Mughals of Central Asian Perso-Mongol origin, assimilated into Indian culture over time. Mughals acquired Kohinoor in the 16th or 17th century after establishing rule in India. Persian ruler Nader Shah invaded Delhi in 1739, seizing Kohinoor. After Nader Shah's death in 1747, Kohinoor passed through Afghan dynasties. Nader Shah invaded India from Persia in 1738, staying until 1740. Nader Shah acquired Kohinoor after conquering Delhi in 1739. He plundered the treasury of the Mughal emperor. Kohinoor acquired by Ranjit Singh of Sikh Empire after defeating Afghans in the early 19th century. Sikh Empire weakened by instability and facing potential British annexation. Two versions exist on how Delhi Sultanate acquired Kohinoor. One suggests Kohinoor acquired as spoils of war. Other implies it was gifted by Kakatiya dynasty ruler Prataparudra. Kakatiya dynasty apparently possessed Kohinoor in the 14th century. They apparently took it to Delhi from the Deccan region. No concrete evidence on how Kakatiyas lost Kohinoor or path to Mughals. First recorded mention of Kohinoor with 14th century Bahmani Sultanate. Stories suggest earlier Deccan dynasties possessed Kohinoor. Bahmani Sultanate based in South India, ruled by Muslim sultans. They likely acquired Kohinoor in the 14th century as a gift or war spoils. Following British victory over Sikhs, Kohinoor surrendered in 1849 by 11-year-old Prince Dulip Singh. Dulip Singh was not ruling independently but under the supervision of adults. His uncle, Tej Singh, was commander-in-chief running the Sikh government. Treaty of Lahore signed in 1846 between British East India Company and Sikhs. Ended First Anglo-Sikh War. 6. Ceded territories and paid indemnity. 6. Surrendered artillery, reduced army size per treaty terms. British agreed to restore Sikh possessions seized during the war. British promised to respect Sikh Empire's integrity in the treaty. Treaty seen as a significant British victory over Sikhs. Gradually reduced Sikh Empire to protectorate status under British. After the treaty, Kohinoor remained with Sikhs until their defeat in 1848. Following Second Anglo-Sikh War in 1848, British took Kohinoor as war spoils. British claimed Dulip Singh later voluntarily gifted Kohinoor to Queen Victoria. But some argue an exiled child could not have voluntarily surrendered it. Kohinoor gifted to Queen Victoria by British after 1848 seizure. Accounts suggest Kohinoor was ceded to British in 1846 treaty. But Kohinoor only came into British hands after 1848 conflict. So while agreed in 1846 treaty, British obtained Kohinoor in 1848. To improve brilliance, British cut Kohinoor from 186 carats to 105 carats. Kohinoor set in Queen Victoria crown for 1937 coronation. After independence, India sought Kohinoor's return, citing history with Indian rulers. British resisted calls to return Kohinoor, keeping it as part of the crown jewels. India actively pursues diplomatic and legal options for Kohinoor's return from UK. Kohinoor remains a contested colonial symbol for British and Indians. Its complex history makes resolving the issue legally and ethically difficult. Fate of Kohinoor uncertain given conflicting claims over ownership. Exact origins of Kohinoor remain unclear, but traced to Golconda in India. Kohinoor and Darya-i-Noor diamonds likely mined by local laborers working in the region. No records exist on precisely who mined the Kohinoor. If Kohinoor represents colonialism, British could consider returning it to modern Punjab. Ranjit Singh had earlier acquired Kohinoor after defeating Afghan rulers. Kohinoor among most valuable diamonds held by Indian and Afghan rulers. Its ownership continued changing hands after the Treaty of Lahore. Weakened Sikh Empire faced instability and potential British annexation. India was the source of diamonds before the 18th century, but they were not highly valued then. At the time of the 1846 treaty, colored gems like rubies were more prized than diamonds. Diamonds gained intrinsic value after large deposits found in Africa in the late 1800s. African mines made diamonds more abundant and affordable by the late 19th century. Other major modern diamond sources include Russia, Canada, Australia. Kohinoor has a complex history with theories about origins and ownership. No definitive evidence exists on rightful modern claim to Kohinoor. Legal and ethical issues around Kohinoor ownership remain complex. Ultimate fate of Kohinoor uncertain given conflicting perspectives on its history and ownership. Elaborating on the Kohinoor diamond. Cultural significance. The Kohinoor diamond holds immense cultural significance in the regions through which it has passed. In India, it has been seen as a symbol of power, beauty, and divinity. The diamond's association with Hindu deities, including its remote use as the left eye of the goddess Bhadrakali in a temple, adds to its cultural mystique. Conversely, in Afghanistan and Iran, it carries historical narratives of conquest and rule, representing their past imperial glory. This cultural symbolism often fuels the disputes over ownership, as each party seeks to lay claim to a piece of its cultural heritage. Artistic and architectural influence. The Kohinoor's influence extends beyond its value as a gemstone. It has played a significant role in shaping artistic and architectural expressions throughout history. In Mughal India, its size and beauty inspired the intricate designs of jewelry, including ornate gem-studded pieces that reflected the grandeur of the Mughal courts. Architectural marvels like the Taj Mahal, built during the reign of Shah Jahan, may have drawn inspiration from the diamond's magnificence, showcasing the deep artistic impact of the Kohinoor. Diamond's physical characteristics. The Kohinoor diamond, once massive at 793 carats, exhibits exceptional brilliance and clarity. Its original size and unique cut made it one of the most remarkable diamonds in the world. The diamond's initial weight of 793 carats dwarfed other famous diamonds of its time. Its colorless and nearly flawless nature added to its allure, making it a prized possession in the eyes of all who beheld it. However, it underwent significant transformations in size due to successive cuttings over the centuries, reducing its weight to its current 105 carats. Current location and display. As of my last knowledge update in September 2021, the Kohinoor diamond is on public display in the Tower of London as part of the British Crown Jewels. It is prominently set in the front of the Queen Mother's crown. Visitors to the Tower of London can view this historic gem in all its splendor. Its placement within the crown jewel symbolizes its importance to the British monarchy and their assertion of ownership. Recent developments. In recent years, there has been continued diplomatic dialogue between India and the United Kingdom regarding the Kohinoor's ownership. While the British government has consistently stated that they consider the diamond a part of their crown jewels and have no intentions of returning it, India has made efforts to formally request its return. The outcome of these discussions remains uncertain, as the issue involves complex historical, legal, and ethical considerations. Public opinion. Public opinion regarding the Kohinoor's ownership is diverse. In India, there is widespread sentiment that the diamond should be returned as it holds deep historical and cultural significance for the country. Social media campaigns, such as #GiveItBack, have gained momentum, reflecting the public's desire for repatriation. In the UK, there are mixed opinions, with some arguing for its retention as part of British history and others supporting its return to its place of origin. Historical records. Historical records regarding the Kohinoor are scarce and often shrouded in myth and legend. While there are mentions of the diamond dating back to the 14th century with the Bahmani Sultanate in South India, the exact origins and detailed ownership records are challenging to ascertain. The lack of definitive evidence from ancient times adds complexity to the ownership dispute and leaves room for differing interpretations of its history.